Um, so I was taking a look at the rig file, and there's a lot of really major problems with it, um, a lot of which I don't know how to fix without going way back. But I've been trying. But first of all, ins- what you were supposed to do, so you did a UV map, but then instead of painting it, I noticed you just assigned materials to um, just some of the faces of it. But what you're supposed to do is paint the textures on. And I think this is probably why you're having a lot of problems with your textures, is because you have different materials assigned to different faces, and it's not really a proper way to do that. The next thing is there's a crazy amount of history on this, and that's why she's moving so painfully slowly, um, because of all that history. Now, in theory, you can delete non-deformer history, edit, delete by type, non-deformer history, but that sometimes breaks things, but you can try that. Um, and it's taking a while because there's so much history. You're supposed to delete history before you bind. Okay, so that got rid of most of it, but there's still a bunch on there, and so it's still moving really slowly. And without painting the textures, obviously nothing's going to solve the fact that you just assign different materials to different faces. And then, um, so I tried exporting the skin weights, export skin weights. I mean, I can try it again. It might just be easier to reweight it. But a weird thing happened, which is, so like if I delete history and just get rid of the weighting entirely, she still seems to work. I'm just going to duplicate her to make like a backup. I'll just call it backup girl. And then, yeah, look, suddenly the textures disappear for no reason that I can discern. On the backup one, I don't, it's just, I think it has to do with that assigning materials to different faces, which is not how you do this. And now they're gone on both. It's just weird. So I think you have to texture it properly, like actually paint the textures like we do in the lesson, either in Photoshop or Mudbox, but not just assign materials if you want your textures to work. And then you have to get rid of the history on that stuff. I mean, I tried exporting the skin weights, but I think it got gummed up with all that history or something. So then you have to go back and rebind it and reweight it and all that. I mean, what you'll find is, like, for example, if I do bind it again now, um, you know, this is how interactive it should be. Without all that. See, all the history that's on there is the skin cluster and one tweak node, but then you have to go back and fix the weighting. And I tried importing the skin weights that I exported before this, but something went wrong, and they didn't work right. I don't know why. Um, so you'd have to go in and fix. Well, yeah, you have to go in and fix the weights. The weights didn't work. So it's just that I don't. Yeah, I don't really. Without repainting the textures and redoing the weights, I don't know. I mean, was this working in here? Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I can try exporting the weights again, see if they work this time. Maybe I'll do it at a higher resolution. I don't know. And then, Yeah, I still can't understand why if I make a backup of this, it loses its textures. I'm going to unparent it, isolate it. See, already it has its textures gone. How crazy is that? I mean, you could just try reassigning the textures where you did that, or you could paint them, but whatever. Let's see if we delete history off this and then bind it again. Um, and then import the skin weights if it works. Here's I just tried it again. Yeah. So then, yeah, you'd have to go and reweight it. So to get this character to work properly, you're going to have to retexture it and reweight it. I don't really see another way around it. We could see how, geodesic voxel does a better job to begin with. Just delete a history again. I mean, that's pretty decent. You probably just have to do the head now. And the jaw. Yeah, so you just have to weight the head. So weight that 100% to the head. I don't know if you had a jaw set up or anything like that. Where's your neck control anyways? It's like hiding in here. That seems alright. Okay. Well, I'm going to save that, and you have a halfway decent weighting job. I haven't really checked it that thoroughly, but the finger joints aren't even lined up. I don't know. It's passable, I guess. Yeah, it doesn't look like you had any kind of facial rig anyways, so... yeah, and then maybe you can paint textures on it. But I think that any of your texture problems having to do with the fact that there's like a dozen different materials assigned to the same surface when you should really just have one. We can try opening that other file and see how this thing works in that file now. I think this ended up in here, so... Great. Didn't work at all. I mean, look at all those materials on the one surface. If we just assign it. Interesting that that's showing up black. Oh, it didn't manage to assign that new material. Assign new material. Lambert. Yeah, I can't handle it. I think your problem is the multiple materials. Let's save this so it knows where to look for that file. Let's see if we just assign a simple material to that. Okay, now it looks like just that one. And then actually I'll go in here and delete unused nodes. And then save this. And then open. Interesting. Oh, there must have been some materials assigned in this file and some other ones assigned in the reference file, I'm guessing. Huh. So the stuff you've assigned here is trying to override the other stuff. Okay, well now that's back to normal. But yeah, I think you just want one material to begin with, and I think you had assigned some in the character file, and then assigned some more here, and that just made it a mess. And that, along with all the history. But at least she's moving more interactively now, so that's good news. All right, well, I hope this was helpful.